Hey guys! So who's excited for the second Hobbit movie to come out? The Desolation of Smaug. It comes out to theaters December 13th, 2013. And for this week's video, I've partnered up with Warner Brothers to help promote their movie premiere. So if you haven't seen it yet, you can check out the movie trailer in the description box below. I put a link to the video. And so Warner Brothers sent me this cool t-shirt. It's a size medium. It's 60% cotton and 40% polyester. And they also sent me a hat and other cool swag. So let's cut out this t-shirt so I can wear it to the movie premiere. So I've decided to do this Balmain inspired Slashed Army t-shirt. And it's funny because when this t-shirt hit the runways in 2010, there was a huge uproar because people were like, this is ridiculous. This t-shirt was selling for $1,625. And it is ridiculous because you can recreate this disheveled chic look for free with just a pair of scissors and an old t-shirt. And so you have to make sure that your scissors have a pointy end because it's going to make poking these holes and poking into the fabric a lot easier. If you're just using regular paper scissors, you're going to have probably a blunt end and it's going to be harder to do that. So I suggest investing in a pair of fabric scissors if you don't already have some. And look around, you can get them for pretty cheap, so check different stores, see how much they are. Okay, and so on with the tutorial. There's actually no real instructions to this tutorial because it's totally, you gotta go with it. Whatever you feel like poking a hole, just poke it and do whatever you want to do to make whatever look you want. I'm just going to outline for you guys 4 different techniques that you can do on this shirt, so let me show you guys. The first technique would be small holes. So doing little holes around the collar is a good way to start because you don't want to go big right away because you won't know what they look like. Always make sure you stretch out the hole after you cut it because it's going to be bigger than you expect, especially for technique 2, which is big holes. Once you do some small holes, do some big holes to kind of mix into the pattern. And you definitely want to stretch these out because you don't want to cut a big hole and then stretch it out and have it even bigger than you expected. Those are the first 2 techniques. And then we have the trail of holes. And so here you can do like a pattern. So it's really fun to do like a freestyle cutting in a wavy line and kind of curving around the t-shirt and totally go with the flow. It was basically just a pinch the fabric and snip, and then you kind of have to repinch if you want to shift the slits over, so you kind of just go for it. So here's the 2 trails I did. And the 4th technique is these tasseled holes. So you need to get extra fabric. So I basically just start off with doing some slits, just like this side, but you need some extra fabric. So I cut off the bottom hem here and just cut off 1/2 inch wide fabric all the way around, so I just had some extra fabric. Okay, since we need to get extra fabric for this shirt, I'm going to show you guys how to unhem the bottom so we can get the extra fabric from the bottom and cut that off. Use that as our extra fabric. So as you can see, the bottom hem of your t-shirt is stitched up. I believe it's called a double stitch. And it's really complicated looking in the inside. But there's a really easy way to unthread this. And it'll make your life so much easier because if you just try to rip these out yourselves, you're gonna get all tangled up and nothing's gonna come apart and you're gonna have a huge headache. So the easy way to do this is to actually go along the inside and try to find where they started and where they stopped. So it's usually along like the seam here. You'll see that there's 2 loose threads there, and that's basically where they started. Because once you do the technique and you unravel it, it's only going to go in one direction. So it's the best if you start at the right place and it'll go all the way around. Because if you start in the middle, it'll go halfway, and the other side you have to unstitch it again. So on this side, I'm going to take my seam ripper, which has 2 pointy ends. It just makes it easy to pull the threads out, but you can use scissors. I'm just going to start taking out about 4 or 5 stitches on each side, actually, because I don't know which side they started on. So if you can see, I'm just pulling out these threads. And there's 2 rows, so you gotta do it for the top and the bottom. So because I didn't know exactly which side the thread starts or ends on, I just did both. So I took out like 4 or 5 stitches from both sides of the hem. As you can see, the threads are all the way over here. When you flip it over, all these threads have become undone by itself. And you just basically pull it until it'll unravel in one direction. So you can see here that these just come apart with no effort. And on the other side, you'll see the 2 seams, but they'll just come apart by themselves as well. And so there you go. That's the super easy way to undo a double stitch for finished hems. So I'm just going to pull it all the way across around the t-shirt. And look at this thread that came out. And the other side. There's 2 strings pulling up. There you go, all undone. Now this just comes apart and your shirt has been extended. So now that we've unthreaded the bottom, I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off the bottom of the t-shirt to make the extra fabric for the tassels. I'm just going to go all the way around top and bottom. So it comes out in a loop, and since it's a thin fabric, if you tug on the end, the hem will eventually come apart. If your t-shirt has 2 seams, make sure you rip out the other side too, so that gives you 2 pieces of really long string. And I just eyeballed it and decided to cut the string into thirds because the length looks about right, and that'll give me 6 pieces of tassel string. So I'm going to take the 3 tassels that I cut out, stretched it out, and just tie it around here. Do a tie onto each slit here, and there you go. You just to make sure you do your cuts very like horizontal so that the tassels will lie down flat and they're not just too overlapping. So do a very slanted line. And there's the tassel look. And to kind of get like a claw mark that got ripped into your shirt, you'll want to make sure your trails are where they start off skinny and then they'll go wider and then they go back skinny again. So you'll get that kind of look. And you want to make sure to kind of not cut too much in the boob area, or you might get some awkward looking holes in your shirt. And try on the t-shirt frequently. So as you're cutting, make sure you're trying it on to make sure everything looks the way you want it to look and it's placed in the good place. And you'll be fine. So just go with the flow. I also decided to do a quick knot on the side. If your t-shirt's oversized enough, you'll be able to grab enough fabric to do a knot. I wanted to do this so the t-shirt didn't hang down too low on my skirt, and it adds an interesting waistline to the shirt. And so here's the final look at the t-shirt with all 4 techniques and cutting up a disheveled chic look inspired by the Balmain Army Slash shirt, which sells for a crazy $1,625. I think this one looks way better. I don't know, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below what you think this t-shirt looks like compared to the original. And I can't complete my Hobbit t-shirt without some Legolas hair braids, so let's try it. I'm going to clip out my bangs just so I can get my bangs out of the way. And underneath my bangs, I'm grabbing a small section of hair, maybe about an inch big, and I'm going to tie it into a traditional 3-strand braid. And I'm trying to do it so it goes back towards the back of my head and then straight down behind my ear, so kind of an L shape for the braid. And that makes it easy to tuck it behind your ear. Then you're going to secure it with a small elastic band at the bottom and there's that one side. So you want to do the same thing on the other side. Grab a small section of hair and tie a small, tight 3-strand braid back behind your ear so it tucks in nicely. Then the next step is to slick your hair back into a half pony at the back of your head. But since I have bangs and a lot of short hairs, it's a little bit hard for me, but I'm just using a comb to try to comb everything back into a ponytail. And then you're going to tie a similar 3-strand braid like we've been doing in the front, but this is just a larger braid. And then that'll complete the look. You're going to secure a tie at the very end just to finish it off. For me, I'm not good at braiding at the back of my head, so I had to do a tie first and then braid and then tie again. But if you're good at braiding, you don't need to do that step. So here's my Legolas hair. 2 small braids in the front tucked behind your ear, hair slicked back, and a big braid down the middle in the back. So if you guys are looking to cut up this type of t-shirt but you're still not sure of what kind of pattern you want to do, I've pinned a lot of inspirational pictures on Pinterest in the style, so you can take a look at those holy t-shirts on Pinterest. Link is in the description box below to my Pinterest. My username is Salina. And you can also check out my blog post. I've outlined the 4 techniques with instructions and photos to go along with each technique so you can see what it looks like. So it's very clearly outlined there. And that's today's Tuesday video, T-shirt Tuesday, so subscribe for another T-shirt Tuesday video next week. Thanks for watching, you guys, and let me know if you're Hobbit fans and if you're going to be at the movie premiere. Okay, see you guys, bye!